I'll just cut off that. Pull Up a Chair, episode 55. We are live, and I do love my intervals of 5. Thank you guys for being tuned in on this beautiful Sunday evening in the great state of Ohio, and I'm not sure where you're tuned in from, but hope that you're having a blessed and wonderful Sunday where you're at as well. Got a lot of good football on. Got a lot of great music out for this weekend. Big cheers to good brother Doom KRS3 over on YouTube. But before we dive into any of it, just in case you don't know, to my right, I got my beautiful wife, my queen, pulling up a chair this week. Thank you for tuning in with us. And if you don't know this ugly mug, let me tell you something. Let me talk to you. It's the CLE Knight. It's Mr. El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything he motherfucking knows, a.k.a. Space Mountain Stoney, a.k.a. Stoney Montana, a.k.a. Edward Swisherhands, a.k.a. Toot Nukem, a.k.a. Pale Cassidy, a.k.a. call me what you will, just never call me broke or sad. It's the young George Young. It's Mr. Keep the Love High and the motherfucking Hate Low, baby. We coming in on full blast. Pull Up a Chair, episode 55. Thank you for being tuned in. So, on that note, I do believe, let's see what we will start with this week in the simulation. A lot of things happened in the simulation this week. I'm thinking let's just kick it right off and just dive right in with music. Or actually, no, let's dive right in with sports. How about that? First thing I mentioned was it's week 2, NFL week. Shit's going crazy. The Giants can't move the ball, but I saw that they were coming back against, trying to think who they were playing, Cardinals. So that was just bums versus bums. Not sure who got the best of that one. Last time I checked, it was 28-28. But let's dive right in on the thing that everybody was talking about this week as far as the NFL goes. And I know that you know a little bit about it, too, from watching Hard Knocks. So, oh, yeah, the Lions' tragic loss in OT. I'm sorry, brother. But Aaron Rodgers took a spill Monday night. I know one of the memes, excuse my dark humor here, but they said, I believe because that was the anniversary of 9/11, they said, and 22 years later, another jet crashed. That's yeah. So I said it last week that I thought the Jets was going to win the game, which they ended up winning the game, which is true. But I said if that offensive line can't get it together and hold up, bad shit's going to happen and fast. And I'll be honest, I even undersold myself on that one because it happened in the first 4 downs of the fucking game. He already had been hit once. He hiked it. He's scrambling. He goes off his back foot. He goes to twist and pivot, now realizing that there's another 270-pound man there running about 20 miles an hour. And he severely ruptured his Achilles so bad that, according to the medical staff, it was ripped off the bone. Now, that leads and goes right into the question, does that mean that is Aaron Rodgers over? Or is he going to make his way back to the field? I saw how you were shaking your head.
I don't think
he's 40 years old. He turns 41 in December.
I don't think he comes back. That's a hard injury to just bounce back from.
So you're going with the route that some people are saying this was it.
Yeah. I think this was unfortunately career ending for him.
Now, another thing that makes this whole thing interesting, before I circle back to that, is I wasn't aware of this at the time, but on the Joe Rogan podcast, some amount of time ago, he said something about like he doesn't believe in like the hospitals and how they treat and stuff. He likes to do his own like shroom therapy. He does like different kind of like supplements and stuff. So it's interesting to see maybe if he's gonna attempt to do some shrooms. How many shrooms do you got to do to keep your Achilles intact?
Let me know. I would love to know.
That seems like bad trip city. Like, can you imagine just tripping balls and you're like, oh yeah, my ankle's fucked. I can't walk. Yeah. He said he's not going out like that. If he doesn't come back, I'll be shocked. I mean, I know that all signs point to, of course, he wants to come back because there's no way you've done this whole legendary career and you're going to be sitting on the couch when you're 60 going, God damn, that's how it ended?
Yeah.
I
don't know. I mean, I could definitely see how he wouldn't want his career in that way. I mean, why would you? So.
What do you think it would be possible if he could even just like I'm trying to think maybe of a world where this could make sense, where maybe he would come back, but maybe just to play like one game. I know that'd be a waste, and I know contract-wise, I don't really know how that would work because they don't really
I
just
don't
give
know.
out.
I mean, I guess it depends on how well he can nurse his own heel.
So he had surgery, so he did go through with the surgery. It was successful, so it's just a matter of time, he's saying, before he. So everybody wants Rodgers back on the field for sure.
Hey, you know what?
I'm thinking we're going to see him out there. I just don't know when. And like you said, the time for him is ticking faster than it is for a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Like, if he can't get back out there, I'm thinking best case scenario is he's able to get healthy for like mid-season next year.
That would be, best case scenario.
Because then that goes with what I was going to get into, or maybe then he'll be like, look, I got it back to health. Let me ride out the rest of this season, see if I can go out with a bang. If not, I got to call it a wrap because I can't get close like that again. And he's also going to look at that offensive line and point a fucking gun at him and tell him, if you let somebody sack me, I'm going to fucking shoot you.
I mean, I would, because that is just absolutely... That's what they were working on the whole fucking...
the whole off season, and then the first 4 downs, his fucking Achilles just gets fucking shredded. They literally turned his Achilles to mozzarella on the 20-yard line. just cheese grated him. But that also raised a question, though, the Aaron Rodgers injury. Also raised a question, which is a lot of players now are pushing that they don't want the artificial turf. They want grass. It blows my mind that they haven't got grass yet. Turf's way more expensive for the treatment of it. Like, you got to roll it out. It's a whole thing every fucking week. And
it seemed, not even that.
I mean, I don't think I couldn't even recall a memory of playing on turf. But from what I've heard of other like football players, and I even asked Kuzi a little bit about it, he said that it's just like hitting fucking concrete. Like, it's really not like forgiving. Like, it looks like grass, but it hits way different. Like, it doesn't hit like normal.
I feel like it's more dangerous. Like, it would be more slippery. It'd be, with all of that. And like I don't feel, how can you get a good grip on it?
Yeah, I mean, that's why like they're saying like maybe Rodgers' Achilles wouldn't have been as fucked if the grass or if the turf just would have had a little bit more give.
Yeah.
Like, and his foot just was sliding on nothing. I mean, it just looked like the concrete thing that I heard. Yeah, I really don't know. I think maybe for the cleats' sake. No, not even that really. For turf, I'm trying to think of what the actual advantage would be. Okay, it can't get as muddy as like say it rained the night before in New York, the fucking downpour, rained all day. Then the grass would be like, oh shit, now you're just slipping and sliding all over the fucking place. Like, that's where I think turf comes into handy, where it's like, if it rains on turf, you're still gonna be sliding. But if it's grass, nobody's really going to be able to move anywhere because cleats are just going to continuously get stuck in the mud, which might actually then create a different realm for more injury because your feet aren't able to really get planted at all. They're more so just getting stuck. It's like running in quicksand. Yeah, I mean, the fact that soccer uses grass, I'm pretty sure I saw the NCAA, even some of their football teams, I want to say, use grass. Don't quote me on that one. But just blows my mind, though, that they haven't been able to actually get that transition from turf to grass because players have been coming out about it for years. But with the Rodgers injury, I think it kind of just highlighted everything because you could actually zoom in and see second by second where everything went wrong with that foot. But hopefully, though, that the push works and they end up getting their actual graft instead of the turf. Now, that brings me, though, to another couple things that I saw today in the injury bug sense of the NFL, which you hate to see that damn injury bug come out, but it gets somebody every week. This week I saw that towards the end of the Giants game, Saquon Barkley looked like he was getting a little gimpy going off the field, and I've already said 1,000 times, I'm convinced that dude's knee literally has glass in it. There's no way that it doesn't. I mean, he's been injured more times than I think he's actually played, and he's been in the NFL now for like fucking 4 or 5 years. But that was just tragic. As far as predictions go, because I know right now we're doing this where most of the games have already passed, but we do got the Sunday night game, and then we got the 2 Monday night doubleheaders tomorrow. So let's just dive right in with the Sunday night game. I believe, if I saw this correctly, it's Miami and New England. Let me make sure, though. I want to say it was Miami and New England. Yeah, Miami and New England, 8:20. So that'll be coming on pretty soon. Good division matchup, good division rivalry. I'm going to go, I know I'm kind of just taking the realm on this one for the prediction-wise, but I got 3 of them. Let's see if I can do it again. I did pretty good last week, so let's see if I can go for it week 2. Because these predictions are usually not my strong suit, especially with the NFL. But I'll throw some darts at the wall and see what sticks. I'm thinking tonight, Miami's going to beat New England. I mean, Bill Belichick, I know his defense always seems to rope something together. And, of course, I love Macadelic Jones. But as far as the Patriots go as a unit, I'm thinking the Dolphins are going to actually expose some weaknesses in that defense tonight, especially with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Guys are looking really good. Tua's moving, mushbrain Tua. He's the guy where fucking got like 3 concussions last year. But I'm thinking Dolphins beat the Patriots. Let me call it 24-10. Miami wins. Tomorrow night, the first of the doubleheader of the Monday Night Football games, at 7:15, you got the New Orleans Saints, and they come marching into Carolina to play the Panthers. And I'm thinking blowout. Hit the blowout button. I'm thinking there's nothing that the Panthers can do to fucking stop the Saints. I think Olave goes crazy. I'm really liking how the Saints look right now with Derek Carr. I'm thinking they're marching all over and leaving cleat prints on their fucking foreheads. And I don't think the rookie that's throwing the ball for Carolina is going to do much of nothing either. I'm thinking that the Saints defense holds them to a field goal. So I'm saying the Saints win. I'm going to call it 28-3. 28-3. The Saints just demolish them. Hit the blowout button. Bend them over the knee. Then that goes to the Monday Night Football game that I believe you can maybe share a prediction on this one. Dog pound. We go to Heinz Field and play the Pittsburgh Steelers, our biggest rivalry, primetime Monday Night Football game. Who do you got? Do the Browns go up 2-0? Do the rivers run red and Locust goes flying through the air?
I have to hold to the Browns. Full faith this year in the Brownies.
You're putting all your chips in on it. You're saying,
I really hope Josh could watch a Browns win away.
Oh, yeah, because we got a lot of people going to that game, actually. Mm-hmm. Forgot about that. We do got a lot of people going there. What do you think the score? Just take a ballpark.
I think it's going to be close, for sure. They're not going to just...
Close? Is there a lot of points or not many points?
Not many points. I think we're going to do good on some defense. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, really. My prediction for the Browns-Steelers... See, I got to dive in a little bit on this one. Yes, on paper, it looks like the Cleveland Browns will win tomorrow night's game. Looks like I would even go as far as to say, I know you said close. I would say if we're comparing from what I saw at Pittsburgh last week, granted they were playing the Niners, but based on what I saw, though, of the Browns playing Cincy, I don't know. I'm actually going to go as far as to say we want to take it to the Steelers. We want to stick it to them. I'm saying we win 45-21 in the Monday night game. I know you can hit the blowout button again on that one, but I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers still look good, but I don't think if Watson's clicking, and I saw that he has a stat where, like, in primetime games, he has a passer rating that's, like, damn near perfect. If he got a good massage today, I think he can go 45-21 tomorrow on the Steelers. I really do. But here's the thing where I said I got to dive a little bit in on. It's the part where you say that the Browns kick off their season and go 2-0 and beat Cincy in the home opener and then turn around the next week in the Monday Night Football game and beat the Steelers. That to me just sounds fucking crazy. Like, that doesn't sound like the Browns that we've grown up with.
No, but it's we're gonna
win.
Sigmas.
We're gonna win back to back against our division rivals, and against one of them is our biggest rival. in the Monday night game on their home field.
I know it sounds crazy.
Like, here's where I'm at with it.
Your words.
I said my prediction. I got faith in the Browns. But we just got to wait till that last second ticks off to be able to believe this thing.
Hey, I
the News Herald and the Plain Dealer are going to be running nuts. The whole damn paper is just going to be the headline of, holy fuck, we're 2-0.
If the Browns win tomorrow night like that, I think my doctor will be in a good mood the rest of the week.
I think the city might flip upside down. Because at that point, we'd be one of the best teams in the league. And I don't know when the last time Cleveland got to say that. Maybe 84? When we were trying to compete for a fucking conference championship run. No, I think if the Browns can pull that off and go 2-0, good God almighty, the dog pound's going to go nuts. And I'm hoping my Niners held off the Rams. In fact, you're going to see my live reaction as you speak on that. Niners are always going to be forever my secondary team. And I've already stated this before on the pod, but I'll say it again. If the Niners and the Browns play in the Super Bowl, I root for Cleveland. Don't get me twisted. So let's see what happened with the Niners game. The Niners win 30-23. All right, all is well in the world of Tucker. That's good. Now Browns just need to secure the W tomorrow. Good shit. We pulled it off 30-23 against LA. Now we're up 2-0. That's major. Now we just need to get the Browns up 2-0. But speaking of 2-0s, here's a streak of 4-0 that will not continue. My fantasy football week 1, I went 4-0. The Aaron Rodgers injury low-key kind of blessed me in the one league, but also took me out in the other because he was my only quarterback. Funny how that works in fantasy.
Funny.
One of your teams thrives, the other team gets severely damaged. With that being said, I was 4-0 to kick off the fantasy year for my first time ever, and now it looks like I'm going to fall potentially 0-4 this week. Potentially. My one league, I still got a chance. But I really need the Browns defense to show out, and I need Deontay Johnson to catch a couple balls. But besides that, my cocaine bears technique that I had in my money league did not work out well at all. I tried starting DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Darnell Mooney. Threw a fucking lob into the air and was really hoping it would happen. But DJ Moore was the only one who did anything for me. The other two dropped duds. The one was a goose. So it looks like I'm going to lose in that league now, unless... What do I need to happen? I think I need the Saints defense to potentially drop me like 40 points. So I'm not going to rule it out because I think that could possibly happen, actually. But, yeah, rough week for me. Rough outing for old Tucker Tente on the fantasy side of things. I'm taking some L's. That's all right, though. We're going to bounce back next week. And then that leads me to the last thing I wanted to mention on the spots for this week. Certain somebody was spotted landing with another specific somebody this morning in Jacksonville to, I believe, confirm what the rumors online were saying the past couple weeks, if they weren't basically already confirmed already. But Taylor Swift was spotted with Travis Kelce getting off the plane for the Jaguars game. So she was coming to watch her boy and show out for him, which they ended up getting the W against Jacksonville today, which ended up being an oddly close game, which kind of surprised me. But Travis Kelce was spotted with Taylor Swift. What do you think of that couple?
That's crazy. I saw that Taylor was getting a little upset, though, that her jet flying schedule was being leaked or some sort of security was breached in her traveling arrangements.
As to why the paparazzi knew they were
landing. So she's very upset and feels like that she could be in possible danger from that situation. I don't know how true that is. That was just a little headline that I saw scrolling through the old.
I mean, good thing that her boyfriend's basically built like a fucking bodyguard.
But
right?
I mean, I don't know.
Travis Kelce, he'd catch that shit coming.
I saw a thing.
Away.
It was like, how long until we get a new album?
Oh God. Let's hope the relationship lasts, or we gonna know who that next album's about.
Yeah.
she. Do you think Love Story was maybe a manifestation that turned into the Travis Kelce? Wasn't that a thing where she was the cheerleader for a football team?
Yeah.
Was Travis Kelce an extra in that video?
Well, I don't know if it was
is that where they met? Is that where they met, you think?
That she's a cheerleader for the football team?
You know, in that music video.
Oh. Yeah.
He was an extra. Yeah, he was the guy who caught the ball. He was the one who caught the touchdown.
It had to have been. I don't know.
But speaking of Taylor Swift, speaking of the megastar right now that just can't seem to ever take an L. The only L that she ever takes is the one in her first name. But let's recap the VMAs. Let's start with Taylor Swift, what she did. So Taylor had another VMA sweep fest where she took out the broom and got 9 in a row. 9 wins that night.
Yeah, this was my update. I stopped updating at 5.
You did?
I was like, okay, so she's just winning all of them.
Yeah. She literally won, I think, damn near all of them. And then now she has 23 total. So she's won 23 total, and this was another just 9-piece that she popped off. Mm-hmm. Good God almighty. Notice you got everything there for the VMAs.
Oh, yeah, I took diligent notes during the VMAs, nice. So I can remember.
Trying to see which ones did she win.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't keep track of that.
Yeah, she took home 9 though. I mean, it seemed like every time I was like, "Oh, I really want this person," but I think it'll be Taylor. And the winner goes to Taylor Swift.
I have.
You're gonna look up the list.
No, I think I have it.
Oh, dope. Good job taking notes. Look at that. The no budget podcast getting really fucking low budget out here because at least we using shit to our advantage. Taking some notes. Look at us, Mr. and Mrs. Professional over here.
Well, don't quote me now.
By the way, I think Nikki.
Oh, I do. All right, she won 1 through 9. Video of the Year, Anti-Hero. Artist of the Year. Song of the Year, Anti-Hero. Best Direction, Anti-Hero. Best Pop, Anti-Hero. Show of the Year, Eras Tour, of course.
Jesus Christ.
Album of the Year, Midnight. Okay. Best Cinematography, Anti-Hero. Jesus. And Best Visual Effects, Anti-Hero. So, needless to say, Anti-Hero.
And you know what's funny? I haven't even heard the damn record.
I think that's.
I've never even heard the song.
I think it's me.
Sorry, Swifties. I'm sorry. I meant that with love. I just haven't heard it. But Nikki, I thought did a great job hosting. Though, what did you think of her?
She did great.
Besides when her heel popped off.
Oh, I thought that was funny
that, everything went good.
I thought I liked her.
Did you like when she called out a lot of the female rappers? When she said that thing, she's like, "Oh, I wondered if the VMAs was worried about me saying something on here." She's like, "Don't worry, Nikki's not going to say anything. But I didn't talk about Roman, though," or something like that. And then she put on that voice where she starts talking like Chun-Li or whatever. Barbie, bitch! Or whatever she does. Yeah, I thought Nikki, though, did a great job hosting. I thought the performances went really well. What'd you think overall? A lot of the performances.
God. Let me tell you what
Wayne kicking it off with a Millie.
That was great. I thought all the performances were absolutely fantastic. I really liked Olivia Rodrigo's set.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one that stuck out to me. I really liked
how she did that thing where she faked the that everything was falling apart. If you remember, even at the time, I'm like,
wait a minute.
I'm like,
good.
Uh-oh, is she fucking up? And then it pivoted right into the new single, and I was like, "Oh, okay, she meant to do that." That was actually brilliant.
I liked Nicki's set for sure. Doja was okay. I liked it. It was okay.
I thought Doja had a good set actually. I thought that was good. What did you think of Puffs? P Diddy.
Yeah,
AKA
I think
Love.
It was pretty crazy. I think it was really good. I took some notes here about.
I love seeing Puff out there
for 30 years. That's nuts.
Yep.
Nuts.
And once we get into the new music reviews, unfortunately, I have to talk about his new album. But the performance-wise, though, I thought everything went great. Forgot.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Glorilla.
it was kind of. Yeah, you put ew. She put ew next to Glorilla. That's kind of funny. Oh yeah, Shakira. Forgot Shakira popped out at the VMAs.
What'd she win?
Shakira. They gave her the VMA Vanguard, the Vanguard Award.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know that she was still putting out music like that. To be honest, I was a little shocked. But no, I thought overall though VMAs went pretty good. I thought they did a good show. Interesting to see that they were live on a Tuesday, but I just think that they didn't want to compete with Week 1 of the NFL. I don't think they wanted to go up against the Sunday night game, so I get it. Best new artist. What do you think of that? Because that went to Ice Spice.
I don't like Ice Spice.
Yeah. Oh, gee, she's not a Munchkin. She don't get it. But that's her fan base. Munchkins. That's why she just partnered with Dunkin' Donuts and released the Munchkins. You didn't see that? She partnered with them. She has her Ice Spice meal is at Dunkin' Donuts. It's like 2 donuts and a thing of Munchkins. Yeah. Ice Spice has a Dunkin' Donuts deal going on, which I think is brilliant because Taylor has Starbucks.
You see, Ice Spice, I do not like.
I love how you take your notes with that. That's actually genius. But I saw Nicki, though, dropped another single. not dropped another single, but performed an unreleased single for her album coming out,
Munchkins.
Pink Friday, too. Yeah, you said ew, Munchkins. But yeah, no, VMAs was good, though, overall. I thought it was a good show. Thought they did well. Always fun. I know we got the BET Hip Hop Awards. That's the next award show that we're looking forward to coming up, I believe, early October. So I'm excited to see how that one goes and talk about that. Oh, yeah, Ice Spice did a commercial with Ben Affleck, too. So she did an interview with Batman. One of 7 Batmans, but still, she did an interview with Batman. So, on that note, I believe it's that time where we talk about new music and react and review to all the new music that came out this week, which this was a great new music Friday. We got flooded. We got spoiled big time with this new music Friday. Let me go to all the releases and hopefully I'll make sure I don't forget any. So, as always, I'm thinking it's a good idea if we start off with the singles that dropped this week. SZA dropped the acoustic version of, Snooze with Justin Bieber. Now, I ended up showing you that. What do you think of that record?
Sorry, I liked it.
I thought that pairing seemed good on that song.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought that seemed actually really well. Glad to see Justin getting back out there, too. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the EP coming out, but Earl Sweatshirt and The Alchemist dropped another single off of Vior Dyer, I believe is how I pronounce that. But they just dropped a new single featuring Vince Staples called The Celluphate. How did you say that?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Looks right.
But dropped a new single with Vince Staples. Always love seeing those two together. Thought those two did great on that collab. Of course, they're going over an Alchemist beat, so I love that. Another single that came out this week. Obviously, let's talk about this one. We got Slime You Out featuring SZA. We got new Drake. When that boy drops, the world stops. We got Slime You Out. What'd you think of that song? Because I showed you that one.
I don't know if I remember it, but
oh, didn't even. I know you don't like SZA, so I wasn't quite sure if you dig it.
I mean, I don't remember.
Did you know that Drake and SZA used to date?
I didn't.
Back in 2008, actually.
I didn't know.
As fate would have that. But yeah, so they dated back in the day, so it was kind of interesting to see a full circle moment happen with them where they're both on the song.
I don't remember it, but I'm sure it just sounds like a Drake song.
I thought Slime Me Out was a great record. I thought 07, not 08. Oh, I just thought he said 08. Like I used to date SZA back in 08 or something like that on a record before. But Slime Me Out, though, I thought was a great record. I love seeing that collab. Love seeing those two work together. It looks like this is officially the second and last single we're going to get for All the Dogs, which comes out next week when he drops his album. So far, we got that one with the Kim K sample. Do you remember that one, Search and Rescue? Which I thought that was good. And then we got Slime You Out with SZA, which I think might actually be the better of the two joints, even though I think Search and Rescue is just too catchy. Oh, yeah, I forgot SZA did correct him and said it was 07, not 08. So he pieced it together like that. I forgot that SZA patched that one up. Thank you for that, good brother Doom. But yeah, I like the record. There's some controversy that came out surrounding the record, though, which before I dive into the controversy, I just have to just mention Drake's bar that I don't think many people got to catch towards the end of that. I think it's on the last verse. He says, I've made QC or something like I've made QC something where I made P's more M's like it's past noon. And all I see is W's and M's like I'm looking for a bathroom. And I thought that bar, when I heard that, that was one of the ones where I just went, ugh, who's cooking the deviled eggs? Because that shit's a fucking bop. Got Domathan Daly calling me on FaceTime, which is interesting. But never know what's going to happen on Pull Up a Chair. But thought overall that the record was good. Thought it was really solid. However, the controversy surrounding the record is actually kind of funny, which was just revealed today. So even though on the DSPs, it's the cover art that Adonis painted for the album, which I don't know if you knew that. For those that don't know, Adonis did paint the For All the Dogs album cover. Then you got the cover art that came out as a rollout for Slime You Out, which was at the Kids' Choice Awards, and I forget which year it was, when Halle Berry got slimed. The slime went all over her face. Mm-hmm. So apparently, Drake wanted to use that picture and asked for permission from her if he could use it, and she said no. Into which Now she posted on, I believe it was Instagram today. Let me go see this real quick. Yeah, where was that? I took a screenshot of it. So Halle Berry says Drake reached out to ask her if he could use the photo of her covered in slime for his new single and still used it despite her saying no. He asked me and I said no. Why ask if you intend to do what you want to do? That was the fuck you to me. Not cool. You get it? So, what do you think of that? Is Halle Berry overreacting?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Like, I don't think Halle Berry realizes that, like, they're not using it for the actual release. Like, it's not on the DSPs. It was just an Instagram post to roll it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to QC. Pretty sure I made PMs like it's past noon. All I really know is W's and M's. Life looking like a bathroom. That's a fucking bar. That's a fucking bar. But, yeah, overall, I do think Halle Berry might be overreacting on that a little bit. I think it's fair to say. Like, I mean, I think it's really cool that he actually went asked for permission. But then I think when Halle said no, he's like, all right, come on. Like,
but then I also feel like that's, you know.
I also look at it this way.
I was thinking, like, it's like
anybody could go to Google Image right now and post that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like, that's literally all Drake had to do was just go to Google Image and save the photo.
It's also like a respect thing, though.
With like because she said no?
Like another, you know, person. I don't think that it's, you know. I think she's overreacting, yes. Like, it's just a picture, but also in the same sense, if she said no, it's like, well, what gives... Why? Just because he's Drake, he's just going to use it anyway? Like,
and I think he, being the mastermind that he is, realized that this also goes with the rollout of the album. Because what's the album called? For All the Dogs. And that was a pretty dog move of him. To be like, oh, I can't use it? Fuck you, I'm using it. He did that for the dogs, honey. He did that for the dogs. Drake got that dog in him. He said, we posted it anyways. Let it fly. You don't condone the 6 guy behavior? Are you scared of the 6?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Have you ever been to the 6?
No.
Some might say you're scared of it, though.
No.
I've never been to the 6, though, so some could say I might be scared of the 6.
Passport.
Am I scared of the 6? Fuck.
I don't have a passport.
Sometimes you can be scared of the 6 and not even realize you're scared of the 6.
Oh, shit.
Tea time. No, but I just wanted to do that. I've been wanting to do that for 2 months since I heard him come in on that Travis song with that. But overall, though, I do think that Halle Berry will get over it. And I think once the writer's strike ends and she's back on screen, she won't be thinking about anything that Drake's posting. So I think she'll be okay. Another single, though, that dropped. Let me go check, make sure I'm not forgetting about anything. Always got to check the good, faithful Apple Music. So it looks like new single-wise, that might be it. Oh, Offset dropped a new single called Fan, which I kind of thought was meh. Kind of thought that was all right. I thought he could have done better. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, though. Nothing to write home about. Doja Cat dropped another new single, Balut. Did you get to hear that at all?
I don't think so.
I would say that's the worst of the 3 singles so far.
Oh, okay.
I would say that's the worst of the 3 singles. I thought Demons is kind of growing on me. Paint the Town Red, obviously, that's a smash. But I do think this one was just not it. Then as far as other singles go, I saw Maren Morris dropped. Denzel Curry dropped a single with Kenny Mason, which I'm actually... Oh, no, I got to check that out. I forgot we said that in the chat. Oh, he liked Balut. Good Brother Doom liked it.
Nice.
See, that's why you can never go by my word, everybody. You can just enjoy what you enjoy, and sometimes you agree with me, and sometimes you don't, and either way, it's okay. Tyga dropped a new single called Bop's Going Brazy, which I haven't even heard that yet. And now I'm trying to think so far. Oh, Hellcats SRTs 2, Sexy Red and Lil Durk. I forgot to add that, but I thought that was a bop. And I do believe, have we hit the railroad tracks? I think we hit the railroad tracks. I'm looking at Mahid Jordan. So we're going to say we hit the railroad tracks on Best New Singles. Overall, J Balvin, Usher, and DJ Khaled dropped a new single. Thought that was pretty good. I thought it was interesting to hear DJ Khaled get on that kind of sound. However, though, I didn't add it. I really didn't think there was anything too special about that. So now it's album time. Let's dive into the albums. So I mentioned it when we were talking about the VMAs. So I'm going to dive into it now. Diddy, I'm sorry before I say what I'm about to say. Yes, Jamil Woods had a great single as well. I remember you sent that into the chat too, I thought that was really good. However, I have to put my hater hat on for a minute.
Hater hat.
Hater hat's on. That new Diddy album was maybe one of the worst albums I've heard all year. And I went into it, it's like an hour and 25 minutes long. So I'm like, okay, we haven't got a Diddy album in a while. I love Diddy's discography, love Diddy's beats. He always gets great features. And this time I really don't know what he was trying. I think I know what he was trying to do, but I'm not really 100% sure. I know the execution was majorly flawed, I would say, in my book. Let me go take a look at the track list. So I go to it and I'm like, all right, cover art looks cool. Features look great. He's got the Last Weekend feature on it. I'm like, all right, sign me up. New Diddy. I thought all the way up until number 10, I was actually at one point, I thought I was being punked. And I was like, oh, this is the trick album. The real album's out there somewhere, right? So a lot of no names that I see he's trying to put on, which, hey, I'm all with it. Like he sprinkled Jazzy over this like it was Lil Kim in 94, or 98, I mean. But he's got Fab on here and Jacquees. I thought, okay, maybe we're going to pick up now. No. Fab's verse I thought was flat. I thought the beat was meh, which I'm like, usually I love Diddy production, so I'm really not sure what went wrong there. Tough Love featuring Sway Lee. Diddy, fuck you. Why the hell did that come out like that? I hate saying fuck you to Diddy, but why did Tough Love with Sway Lee come out that way? That had every recipe in the world to be a hit. I'm like, Sway Lee over a Diddy beat? Oh, we going diamond. That thing might go triple chicken bone. This fucking song sucks. My hater hat's all the way on. That thing's about to go through the fucking roof. Summer Walker. I thought Summer did what she kind of could on it, but overall I wasn't a big fan. Yeah, Sway Lee, he should have just said no and threw the phone down. I don't know what the hell happened on that one. He said just had no business being on the album. So number 10 is where it did pick up for me for 3 tracks. And I'll even say what I said in my group chat too. So by the time I got to number 10, I'm like, okay, here's The Weeknd, French Montana, and 21 Savage. The Weeknd's last feature. I'm like, please don't fuck this up. To be honest, I wouldn't really call it going on like a crazy high note, but I do think the record was good. That is the best record on that album, I think, by far. I think French Montana had a great verse. Montana! I think 21 Savage had a great verse. 21. And think The Weeknd also had a great job. Did a great job on the hook. Which, by the way, I actually figured this out the other day. You know why nobody's ever dissed The Weeknd? Because if you did, you'd be an ableist. No, hopefully I can that. But do I have to again? But then I like the intermission, just a little interlude, Diddy talking shit. Literally, when Diddy gets into his shit talking mode, you could literally just press record and just let him go for an hour.
I hate interludes.
Yeah, I know you're not a skit. You're not an interlude. See, I love a good interlude. Make that thing fucking 4 minutes long and talk through the whole thing. I love it. However, though, I did show you this record, so I know you can speak on this one. It looks like, because Justin Bieber had the feature on SZA's remix, or acoustic remix, and then he had a big-time feature on this, which I actually see as one of the hits on the album that looks like it's getting streamed the most. Justin Bieber featured on the Diddy album, which I actually thought that was a good record. Still got my hater hat on, but I thought that was a good record. My question, though, is for the Belieber next to me. What do you think of this being his 2 songs back onto the scene? Post facial surgery and everything.
I love Justin and I'll always love Justin. And everything that he does. So I like them.
You like the records?
Yeah.
Which ones do you think was better?
I think I would probably listen to this one more.
So that's interesting. I would actually say I would take the acoustic with SZA. I thought he meshed really well on that.
I mean, I really did like it, but I think that I would probably listen to it.
The one with Jasmine Sullivan right after it, Needs Somebody, I thought that one might actually be able to grow on me. Good Brother Doom kind of rubbed off on me with that one. I think I kind of want to give that one another shot. Mind Your Business, though, with Kalani, we went right back into the dumpster fire head first. Jazzy on another interlude, that was painful. Ty Dolla $ign and Somebody Else on Reachin', that was a forgettable track. Jeremiah with Kalon For Real, and KCI Haley. I'm not sure what the fuck that was. The record with Mary J. Blige, I'm convinced they just didn't care and just said whatever they wanted to and then just said, hey, we're going to throw it on the album. Mary J. couldn't save it. I thought her verse was bad, which I'm actually shocked to even say that. Sorry to the great Queen Mary J., but I thought that was bad. Closer to God with Tiana Taylor. Love Tiana Taylor. Love all these people. I just don't know what happened. Jeremiah on Boo-Hoo, that was god-awful. Burna Boy interlude, I thought that was bad. Kim Porter with Babyface and John Legend, I thought that was bad. Space with her, I thought was actually pretty good, not too bad. We got Ray Gun off to the side over here having an asthma attack. But Space, though, with her, I thought it was good. I mean, could have been good. Maybe it'll grow on me over time. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But overall, though, Diddy, before I take my hater hat off, I don't know what happened, man. I love all your shit, but this is clearly going to be the worst in your discography, and we waited quite some time for that album. So I'm curious to see how it sells. I'm curious to see how the other reviews are. But so far, from what I mentioned even on Reddit, people are like, yeah, dude, you're kind of right. Like, we don't really know what happened. Like, such a legendary career that now, unfortunately, might have a blemish on the discography. But I'm going to take my hater hat off now. Diddy, I love you. I'm sorry. You know, I had to call it down the middle. I had to call it the truth. Overall, though, hopefully, who knows? You know, you guys give it a chance. Maybe you'll dig it. Another great album, though, that came out this week. Or not another great album. I mean, an actual great album that came out this week, which is why I said I got my hater hat off, is Magic 3. The Run continued with Nas and Hit Boy, and they dropped the third installment of their Magic series. And boy, oh boy, did they not disappoint. And I saw that it looked like on the last record, 1-800 Nas and Hit, they kind of made it sound like this was like a one-time, not a one-time thing, but like this was the final. That this was like the last final thing that they're doing together. Great album, though. I pretty much added the whole thing. I added 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So there was really only a couple I didn't add. Thought it was a great album overall. Definitely on my highly recommendation list for this week. Definitely right at the top of the list. In fact, out of all the albums, it might actually get... Yeah, there's one other one that I'm going to say is another big highly recommendation. But I think overall, if I had to say what was truly the best album of the weekend, I'm going with Magic 3. I'm going with Nas. I mean, the bars are incredible. The production's insane. Love seeing that iconic, like, rapper-producer duo, which I feel like is kind of like a lost art in the genre anymore. Like, actually sticking true to, like, one producer like that. Like, especially for a whole project. And there was only one feature on it. And it was a feature that they wanted to see work with Nas for a while, and he did not disappoint. Number 6 was Never Die featuring Lil Wayne. And those two on it, barring back and forth, when you get to hear two iconic, legendary Hall of Fame rappers go back and forth like that on a Hit Boy beat, just sign me up. I don't even have to hear the record yet. Just add it to my library. Sign me up. Thought overall, though, it was a great album, amazing album. I'm actually going to go as far as to say out of the 3 Magics, it might be competing for my favorite and really quick. So with that being said, my 3 favorites on Magic 3, if I had to put my top 3 on the album, I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go number 1, Based on True Events. Love that record. Love that record. Number 2, I'm going to go with Japanese Soul Bar. Love that. Just love the beat too. And then number 3, I'm going to go with the intro, which I actually played to kick off Sleepless Radio last night, Fever. Because that's just where Nas is just rapping fast, the production's knocking, pictures are falling off the wall, lightning striking 3 times in the same place. I think Magic 3, I hope people caught that. But overall, though, just a phenomenal, great album. Thought he killed it. Thought he crushed it. Nas is on some other type of legendary run right now. One of the best runs, I think, that when it's all said and done after the next King's Disease, this might be one of the best runs in hip-hop history just based on volume and quality of that volume that he's just been able to pump out all this great shit. So shout out to Nas. Like he said at the skit at the end of 1-800-NAS and Hit, he said, man, I got the engineer calling me going, man, y'all sent another project through. I'm trying to go home and see my family. Y'all got to get the fuck out of the studio. Like, Nas was just locked all the way in. And like, he even said it at one point on the album, like, I'm not sure how much more of these I got left in me. So let's just give everything I got pretty much. Like, you know, I get it. I'm the old guy in hip hop, but hey, you leave me sitting at home sipping on my Hennessy. I start cracking my neck and knuckles. I still got it. Damn it. Let me get out there. Let me get off this mean old porch. But love seeing Nas hop out, though, and just put out great music like that. So with that being said, the other album that I put at the top of my highly recommendation list for this week, which I think I showed you a couple joints on this album. She's not Lyrical Miracle, guys, which I'm glad that you're not. It'd be very weird if you were like, hey, did you hear that second bar in the third verse on Magic 3? I'd be like, honey, stop. But my other highly recommendation, though, for the week is Rod Wave Nostalgia. Very pleasantly surprised as far as that album goes. I love Rod Wave. I'm a big Rod Wave fan. I've been on the Rod Wave train for how long now? It feels like, what, 4 or 5 years? You've been hearing me mention Rod Wave. I know you liked the one single that I showed you a couple weeks ago, the Call Your Friends. I remember you liked that one. Only one feature on it for him. He's got 21 Savage on Turks and Caicos, which I thought was a great record. But my thing with Rod Wave that I just wanted to dive in on a little bit is I love a sound that is completely unique to who they are and it matches the music. And Rod Wave, I think, is literally just young boy with melodies. Like, he's young boy with melodies. The content is essentially the same thing. It just leans a little bit more into like how he's depressed and stuff like that, and a lot of his friends and family's all locked up. So like that's where a lot of his depression like stems from and stuff. And he goes very detailed on all the records. And then he talks about how women just keep leaving him one after another. That goes with the Great Gatsby song, which let's just start right there. My 3 favorite on Nostalgia, my highly recommendation, what I think you should definitely check out, even if you're like, all right, Took, I don't want to give the whole album a shot, but what would be 3 that I should check out if I were to? I would say listen to the single Call Your Friends. I would say listen to Turks and Caicos with 21 Savage, because you can't go wrong with a 21 feature. But my favorite record on the album, and one of my favorite songs that dropped this whole weekend, was Great Gatsby, where in the last minute and 20 seconds, good God, if you're having a drink when you're listening to that shit, you just start belting it out there with them. I love Great Gatsby, and I think that album really shows exactly how talented Rod Wave really is and what his pen can really do and what he's capable of. So I'm just excited to watch his career keep growing. I think Nostalgia is going to sell really well too. I saw that it was actually at the top of the Apple New Music for hip hop, which he's competing with Nas. Like, that's crazy that he's able to compete and hang in there with Nas, especially with the style of music that he makes. We got Rod Wave Needs Therapy. He always sounds so depressed in every song. Well, that's what he's saying. Like, he doesn't do therapy. He finds therapy in the double cup. That's where Rod Wave finds his therapy.
He needs to find some medical professionals when he needs to find.
You're telling me he needs to take the walk to a therapy session?
He's gonna have to or something. I mean, how you can't heal.
This dude's always, and the thing about Rod Wave too that I love is some of the shit that he ends up saying on records is just fucking crazy to me. Like on the one where he's like, man, I was so fucked up. I was fighting with my boys. I got in the car. I went 110 miles an hour. I wrapped my car right around a telephone pole. And it's like, yeah, but why'd you drink 9 pints of lean and leave the house? But Overall, though, I thought the Nostalgia album I thought was great. I love Rod Wave. He's definitely one of the new talents that I'm big on. I wish nothing but great things for Rod Wave, and I hope the album does do well. I think it should do well. I just know that it's clouded with so much competition that came out this weekend. Which, speaking of which, here's another album that came out this weekend. Vic Mensa dropped Victor. Vic Mensa, you're an interesting motherfucker, man. There's no better way to put it. The career of Vic Mensa, you could make a 30 for 30 on ESPN about that damn career twice. But yeah, our dog has hiccups, by the way, for those that wonder what the Peanut Gallery's, who that is. That's our ray gun. So here are some joints that I added on the Vic Mensa album. I added number 1, Sunday Morning Intro. I added Leveling Up, which I think is a banger. The Weeping Poets with Jay Electronica. Anytime Jay Electronica's on a feature, you know it's going to be an instant ad. At one point in the record, he actually rapped 3 different languages in one bar. So I was pretty impressed by that. I was like, all right, Jay Electronica can just wrap circles around anybody. He's an alien. Swish with G-Eazy and Chance the Rapper. Interesting seeing G-Eazy, Big Gerald, coming through in the black Camaro outside. I like the record. I know some people think he's corny, and they got Chance the Rapper on there too. So, and Vic Mensa. So a lot of people think that just might be a whole corn on the cob in itself. But I like the record. I like those guys. Blessings featuring Ant Clemens, I thought was a good joint. And then East Side Girl was the single with Ty Dolla. I thought that was pretty good as well. Loved Leveling Up. I think if they market that right, that could be a hit. I think the Weeping Poets with Jay Electronica, that's a great standout joint on it. And I do think Swish with G-Eazy and Chance is pretty catchy too. But East Side Girl, though, I think that could really be a hit. I mean, I think that should be playing in the clubs. However, though, it is Vic Mensa. So he very well might come out in a couple days and say some fuck shit and set his career back another 5 years. What do you think of Vic Mensa, though? I'm curious.
I really like him. Never really liked him.
Well, Vic Mensa, he kind of does the Kodak Black approach, but he just doesn't go to jail. Like Vic Mensa, when he first started off, he had the Orange Tape. Great. Then he came out, he had the Cocoa Butter Kisses feature. Great. People love Vic Mensa. All right, he's coming out with a new album. All right, he's got a Kanye feature. Oh, cool. What's he do? Diss Chance. Because Chance doesn't have any room for him on Coloring Book at the time. So it's like, all right, that was kind of a corny-ass thing to do. Then he goes to the BET Awards, and in the middle of trying to, I believe he was presenting something, or it was like right at the end of the performance, he dissed X right in front of his mom, right after X passed. Like X had freshly passed. So then people started hating on Vic again. My thing with Vic is every time he gets a foot in the door, he slams it on his ankle. Like he does that to himself. Like nobody's doing this to him. It's like, Vic, why? Like this album's good. I really hope nothing comes out about Vic Mensa doing bullshit. But I thought it was a good album, though. I think, again, this is a step in the right direction for Vic. Hopefully he can capitalize on it. I like this feature on the Mick Jenkins album. But I thought Victor was good. I definitely do recommend to check that out. I just think there's other albums that you should check out first. Killer Mike dropped the deluxe to Michael, which he dropped 4 new joints. I added 3 of them. He dropped Maynard Vignette, which came out, I believe that was last week with JID, T.I., and somebody else on that too. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. But that was a great joint. That was a great record. I liked Yes. Thought that was really good. But then Act Up featuring Young Nudie. I just thought those two over that beat, they fucking bodied that shit. That was the best I've ever heard Young Nudie rap. I'm actually willing to say that on record. And I like Young Nudie. I think he's a talented kid. But on that verse, at one point, about a minute into it, I'm like, all right, kid. All right. Like, normally, he was the one on Peaches and Eggplants doing the ba. So, like, at some point in the verse, when I'm like, Killer Mike and Young Nudie, I'm like, interesting pairing. And then I hear the beat, and I'm like, oh, okay, Young Nudie will be able to do his thing over this. But then, like, 10 seconds in, I'm like, ooh, he rapping. I'm like, oh, shit, he wanted to show off the skill for a second. So, congratulations to Young Nudie. That definitely opened my eyes to you. I got to keep a bigger eye on you. But the Killer Michael Deluxe, I thought was solid. Teddy Swims, he's an artist that I have been keeping an eye on. He dropped a part 1 of a part 2 to his album called I've Tried Everything But Therapy. And I love that for an album title, Tried Everything But Therapy. Do you think, though, that he looks like Rory? I think he looks like Rory. I sent a screenshot, for those that don't know, provide a little context, to Rory from New Rory and Mullen. I said, why do you look like Teddy Swims? And all he hit me with was, LOL, it's a ginger thing. I just thought that was funny. But I added a couple joints on there, though. I added Lose Control, What More Can I Say, which I think What More Can I Say and Lose Control are just bangers. And Goodbye's Been Good to You. I think that's actually a great joint, too. So check out Teddy Swims if you get a chance. He's an artist I've been keeping an eye on. He's definitely got like a very unique voice. I would kind of, what did I say about him before? He reminds me of like if Chris Stapleton were to sing over an R&B beat. Like he kind of has that kind of sound to him. Think Chris Stapleton, but over R&B instead of going over country.
I fucking hate Chris Stapleton.
Oh, so you wouldn't like Teddy Swims?
No,
She's got her hater hat on. He looks like Rory mixed with Action Bronson. Come on, you just did my boy Teddy Swims fucking filthy. No, that's hilarious, though. That's hilarious. Flatbush Zombies is where we're going to end, though, for the new music reviews and albums. Even though it's been out for 10 years, it is so awesome to finally see them drop Better Off Dead on all DSPs, which I'm excited to show you because it's only been on SoundCloud up until now. So I'm excited to show you it because this is the one Flatbush project you haven't heard. And believe it or not, guys, you actually love the Flatbush Zombies. You actually like Flatbush. In fact, I've even caught you listening to that one album, some on your own, the 3001 Space Odyssey. But love Flatbush Zombies. Love seeing that with the iconic palm trees on it. You get the iconic Club Soda with Action Bronson. And you get Drug Parade with Danny Brown. Absolutely love Better Off Dead. I know Dooley's like this when he's watching this because he loves Flatbush too. And I know that he's big pumped to see Better Off Dead finally back on streaming. Well, finally on DSPs, I mean. So, yes, a lot of new music that came out on this New Music Friday. There was a lot that we had to get to. I know I kind of had to take the forefront on that one. But I did get to show you a couple things, though, so I'm glad that you shared your take on that. Overall, though, I do think it was just an amazing New Music Friday. Whenever you get moments like that, new music is just, it's the winner of the weekend. There's something in there for everybody. I'm sure there's something out of those releases that you would like. A lot of different sounds. And you got a lot to listen to if you got to catch up. But last thing I wanted to mention before we leave off on music, we get to just briefly go over this one just because I'm curious to see what you think of it because we've seen his career now from start to we actually get to say it. It's officially finished. His career is officially finished. And that gentleman's name that I'm talking about, in fact, I can't even call him a gentleman because of the fucked up thing that he did. But Designer, get out of here, kid. You're over with. So for those that don't know, a couple months ago, in fact, it seems like more than just a couple months ago, but Designer was fucked up. He was on an airplane, long flight. I believe he was doing something with Japan, so it was a very long overseas flight. He got belligerently fucked up, drunk, fucked up on pills on the plane, and took his dick out and started jerking off, for lack of better words. And stewardess told him to stop, put it away. Didn't do it. They had to emergency land the plane, get him off. He's too fucked up. And now, one thing has led to another, and because of how it went down on the plane, that he is now registered as a sex offender. No fly zone. So there goes touring right out the door. Not that anybody be buying your ticket now anyways. It's over. We got to see the start and the finish of Designer. No more music. I saw that it's starting to even get pulled off of, I think I saw that they deleted it deleted off Audio Mac or something like that. So the Designer run's officially over. And I got to admit something here. I was wrong about that kid. I was wrong about that one. When he first came out, obviously I know I wasn't podding then, so really all my pod thoughts were just tweets. But I remember thinking when he first came out and we heard Panda, and yes, I know he sounded a little bit like Future. The comparison was there 100%, but I still liked the sound. I thought the Timmy Turner song was very different. I loved how he approached that. He said, I'm not going to lie, I stopped caring about Designer after Panda dropped. a lot of people jumped ship very quickly after that. I know Kanye kind of, depending on how you looked at it, kind of chewed him up and used what he could out of him and then spit him back out. He tried to put out a couple singles throughout the year. I remember a couple years ago, he was putting out like this one single called Diva. It sounded okay. But essentially, though, he ran out of steam. Looked like he started pissing all of his money away. And then now after that, he's a registered sex offender. He threw in the towel and he called it quits. So now to give you the floor once again, because I want to give you more opportunities to speak your mind on things too. That's why we have you pull up a chair. So what do you think from start to finish on the career of Designer? You're with him?
It makes no difference to me, truthfully. I mean, like,
let me word it like this. Let me word it like this.
Like,
are you surprised? Is anybody surprised at what happened?
Yeah, obviously. Like,
no, not the incident. I'm talking like just the trajectory of his career.
Like I said, I truthfully, like, I liked maybe 2 songs from his. Like, I didn't listen to him. I wasn't, oh my god, fucking Designer's drop. Like, I didn't care. Like,
I don't think anybody did that, to be fair.
I mean, literally,
I don't think anybody, was getting all hopped up about that. I really thought that he was going to end up having a good, successful career.
Anything that anybody nothing surprises me anymore because what the fuck? Like, people are just disgusting. So,
as I always say in times like this, though, and then we'll pivot. But Designer, I feel like you had the tools. I mean, you were in high school with a Kanye cosign. You had all the tools, literally the same tools that Chief Keef had. Chief Keef, iconic career. Designer, 7 years later, is registering as a sex offender. You can't make this shit up. I remember actually waking up and seeing that report. Designer whips his dick out on an airplane. I'm like, yeah, it sounds about right. Like, we live in a simulation, like you said. I'm not surprised. Designer did what? Figures. Doesn't shock me.
Well, what else do people with money or people who piss away money do? No, I mean, they just have to. They have to feel like they have to fucking do drugs and be fucked up all the time to have a life. And if not, because why? Their life is boring otherwise.
I mean, I
think they have to do this stuff. And then look, it puts them in these stupid fucking predicaments that are just like mind blowing. Like, I literally.
Which I read in the report, the stewardess said, I tried honestly, 5 or 6 times to get him to stop doing that.
How nobody beat the shit out of him on that airplane prior to them landing it that's actually more shocking than him whipping his dick out and masturbating, because how can the person fucking sitting next to him be like, okay.
Now here's the crazier part. Here's where everything gets a little bit sus, to be honest with you. So I think this is where it gets sus. Because my mind works different. My first thought when I heard that, one of my first thoughts was, no team? Anybody around? Hey, what are you doing? Like, anything at all? And then when I read the report, the team and the friends were all fucked up too. They were all fucked up after the show when they got on the plane. So nobody was keeping track of anybody. Like, they even said the one Designer's buddy was getting so belligerent just based on being loud. Supposedly he kept yelling shit. And they were trying to get his buddy to, like, dude, stop yelling. Like, fucking guys, calm down. And then finally it was Designer's thing where it just got to the point where the stewardess said, I gave up and just had to go report it. And the pilot was like, wait a minute, what's going on back there? It's just that group causing commotion? Okay, what's the significance of it? Oh, it's a rapper. Land a plane. Like, oh shit, how fucked up is he? And supposedly somebody went back there and tried to, like, de-escalate it, and then just immediately went back into the cockpits. Like, we can't calm him down.
They need to be.
And the other passengers complained too that, like, they wanted refunds on their flight because of just the experience that they got out of that.
That group of people, not only should they be registered as, they need to be held.
I want to know why Homeboy's just sitting next to him,
they
though. Like,
arrested.
Oh,
he's
just jerking off. Like,
oh, they need to be like on house arrest.
Like, who looks over at their homeboy and is just like, oh, he's just jerking off? That's not crazy or anything. That's completely normal.
You know what? Those people
completely normal. We got a whole fucking plane full of people here. Completely normal.
Those people don't need to be on Earth. Like, they're just wasted space.
Well, in this case, it is one of those things where he's done, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. This ended it.
No, he needs off there. Goodbye. people.
You're saying he needed to be on United 93? No.
Yeah.
Now hold on, maybe there's comedy here. What if Designer and his buddies pulled that shit on the United 93? The terrorists would have even had a hard time competing with that shit. Like, can you imagine Homeboy before he storms the cockpit? He's like, I got bomb. He jerking off? Designer maybe been able to save that situation if he was just on that plane. Like, I'm sorry, you can't fucking hijack an airplane if a buddy in first class is jerking off. Like, if anything, that might scare the terrorist. Like, you go to take over a plane and you're like, oh, fuck. He don't care so much. He's jerking off as I'm trying to hijack this plane. That old plane would have been safe.
Yeah, you know what? Could save 1,000 people's lives.
Designer just running up first class, trying to see if the bomb's fake, dick swinging. Terrorist is like, whoa, hey, yo, fuck. We're just trying to take this plane over, homie. Not get a part of the Me Too movement. Oh, you know I had to patch it up with something fucked up. Designer whips his dick out on the United 93. Only on Pull Up a Chair will you hear a statement like that. But on that note, let's reel it back in and get a little bit serious with a couple reviews here for a minute. Because, yes, I know, over the summer, I fell to the wayside on keeping up with some of my summer movies. So now that the summer movie madness has died down, I'm finally able to start catching up a little bit with you. So we saw 2 great movies in the span of the last week that came out over the summer and have just released on streaming. But the movie review that I'm pretty sure everybody wants to hear, let's talk about Barbie. I know you loved it too. We should have just bought it instead of rented it, to be honest. But I want you to start off this one. What did you think of the Barbie movie? Was it everything that you hoped that it would be? Because I know that you were really excited. Like, I think you even said, even on the pod, that there hasn't been a movie like this in quite some time that you've been this genuinely excited for.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. It was definitely what I thought it was going to be, only because I actually, do some research on movies that I, before I'm watching them anyway. Because a lot of people thought Barbie was just going to be like some, oh my God, a Barbie movie. And then they get there and then they're disappointed because it's not what they wanted. But anyway, obviously I knew going into it what I was getting into. So I liked it a lot. I thought it had a beautiful meaning to it. And, the theme of the movie.
Great point.
And, the monologue that I can't remember the character's name, but the mom of the daughter.
The one that, spoiler alert, but wished Barbie into real life.
She did, really great.
That was the show stealer, was that speech that she gave.
It was good.
I loved it. I'm going to second what she said. I think the overall theme of the movie, they did really good at masking it in the trailer. Like, I feel like in the trailer, you couldn't really tell which direction they were going to go with it. Yeah. Which I love it when they do that with trailers, where there's sometimes where if you just watch the trailer, you saw the whole fucking movie. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's why, like, I'm glad in this, they kind of, like, hid a lot of that stuff and hid who would end up being, like, the real crucial key characters in it. But I thought the casting of it was perfect. Mm-hmm. I feel like I know you love the casting as well. Love seeing John Cena as a merman. But
John Cena actually wanted to be in the Barbie movie,
and they were like, "Yeah, we got a role for you." Right?
They're like, well, you could be a merman, and he's like, "All right."
He's John Cena.
Had no part for him, but it was like, you know what? Just fucking be a merman.
Throw him in. Yeah, I thought the casting was great. I thought Ryan Gosling as Ken Barbie was. I thought that was hilarious. I thought he did a great Ken. You can't out-beach Ryan Gosling, and you can't out-beach Ken Barbie. Which I thought his performance was great. Obviously, Margot as Barbie, I thought did a phenomenal job. Like you said, though, I don't know the woman's name that was the daughter's mom who helped wish Barbie to life. But I thought she did a phenomenal job. And I thought her speech that you said that she gives, which Barbie has a theme of...
I don't think she wished Barbie to life. I think it was that it was every Barbie in there had a human.
Yeah,
at one point. So her with the mom going through like just some hard times with like raising her daughter and all of these things, she's bringing back those childhood memories, which then has started to trigger with the Barbie in Barbie Land, which is her Barbie. So that they're all connected. You know, every Barbie is connected to a human.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not like there was already a Barbie Land. Like she didn't wish her to real life. Like,
right. Yeah. Because it doesn't she like the mom ends up getting into Barbie Land and like with the daughter and everything. Spoiler alert. But yes. Overall, though, I thought the message of the movie, I was trying to find the word for it a minute ago. I feel like if I just say it's very pro women, that doesn't really get the point across.
Feminist.
Yeah.
Like very like it's like very like feminine, like girl power movie, but also giving like what women do, like what like our sacrifices, like what we have sacrificed, do sacrifice, whatever. But also it takes that turn with like what men also do for, you know, us women in the sense of like protection and like, yeah, you know what, we can both be, you know, on the front line.
Yeah, and I think that Greta also wanted to use that movie to like knowing full well, like, oh, I know that the guy's gonna take his girl, to the movie to see this. So I want to open up his eyes too and make him feel like I'm talking to you guys at the same time.
You know, a lot of men, like, they just objectify women, and like this movie is
and they show how they do that.
And they show like, oh, I'm your stereotypical Barbie. Like, I have blonde hair and I'm skinny and I'm tall and I'm perfect in every way. But then show goes on that, you know, she can get cellulite, she can get bigger.
And did you notice that in Barbie Land, that Margot was viewed as like, oh, you're the queen, and Ken's like, just the guy that's just going to forever be chasing after you, but you can't really necessarily give him the time of day. But then when they made it to the real world, Ken was over here like, whoa, what the fuck? Women love me here. And then all the guys were just hating and talking different shit on Barbie. And that's where she's like, whoa, like I get objectified here. And then like she goes to talk to Ken and he's like, I love it here. Like girls are like just surrounding him, talking to him. He's like, I love it here. To where it made him look like the king in the real world and made Barbie look like she has to deal with what women deal with, which is, oh, I'm getting this picked apart on me. I'm getting this picked apart.
That's exactly what it is, because in the real world, men fucking run it. Men run everything. Women are second. Like, you know nothing. Like, we're just some bimbo fucking whatever, ha ha ha, what have you. Like, we know nothing. But in reality, men literally could not live without women. Like, if we were not here, wouldn't exist, but not in the literal aspect, but like literally. Put my hater hat on men right now. Sorry, guys can't fucking do shit for yourselves. I mean,
I don't even think necessarily you have to put the hater hat on for that one. I think that's just.
I mean, like, there are some men out there that do take the initiative and will, they take care of themselves. They do, but majority of men like do not. Like no.
I'm catching major sneak disses and bullets here, but no, I thought that was a great message, though. I definitely see why that's one of the most successful movies of all time. Oh, yeah. Greta Gerwig. If I didn't have bad hat hair right now, I'd take my hat completely off for you. But that was just phenomenal. Loved the writing of it. Loved the way that they executed it. Definitely think that it deserved every single amount of praise that it got. Mm-hmm. And the last thing I wanted to mention about Barbie, which I do highly recommend. I think that's safe to say that we both do, to definitely check that out. Definitely check out Barbie.
10 weeks later.
Yeah, if you haven't already, I think we might be the outsiders on this one. I'm like, check it out. I saw it twice. But overall, though, I thought that movie was absolutely phenomenal. But the thing that I wanted to mention, I'm hoping that it doesn't slip my mind now. Trying to think. Oh. The Oscar nomination. So they've already said that their Academy's kind of giving a spoiler alert, because there was a major push to get Ryan Gosling nominated for his performance on Ken in Best Supporting Actor in the Oscars. Well, people were like, we just want to know. We just want to know. We just want to know. And finally, the Oscars, the actual Academy, came out and said, you really want to know? Yeah, it's there. And everybody's like, oh my God, like, all right. But that was like a rarity for the Academy to be like, all right, I know we haven't dropped our noms list yet. We got to tell them, though. Like, yes, we've noticed. And then immediately people were like, well, wait a minute. Is Margot nominated for Best Actress? And literally Recording Academy was like, you chill. We gave you one and we never do that. You wait and find out. But with that being said, last question, like I said, on Barbie, then we'll leave off of it, is, do you think now that Ryan Gosling is nominated for Best Supporting Actor, that Margot will get nominated? So it's a two-part question. Will Margot get nominated for her performance as Best Actress? And will the movie itself get nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah.
Now, say all three of those things end up being true. Does any three of them win?
Like the movie itself.
Really?
Picture, yeah.
Well, this is where we're going to get a little, hopefully a quick back and forth then. I think if they were nominated for those three, that's the one that they lose is Best Picture.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
To what?
To Oppenheimer. I think that, and I haven't even seen Oppenheimer yet, but here's why I say that.
I could see, if it was to lose, I do see it losing.
I could see maybe the Academy giving either the Best Supporting or the Best Actress to Margot, or giving it to Ken, just because of how successful and how great that movie went over. But I think as far as Best Picture goes, you got to remember when it comes to the Oscars and the Academy, that they want a movie like Parasite to win.
That's true, yeah.
They don't want the movie that everybody saw, and everybody loved, and it was a box office smash, even though Oppenheimer is. But I feel like when it comes to Best Picture, they want movies more like that. Like American Sniper, like Oppenheimer. Yeah. And Oppenheimer's based on, war and shit. Like, ooh, they love that. They love giving it to war shit.
Yeah, but I think but Barbie's not like just like the message. Like I'm gonna go back again. The message in Barbie. Like if they're watching that movie and not getting the message, then they shouldn't be in the Academy. Like that's true. Shouldn't be. And if that's gonna be the case, then like I said, I personally don't like the Oscars. I think it's all rigged. I don't believe literally any. I don't agree with any of their nominees or winners ever any of the years, really.
I'll be honest, I rarely do. I really, truthfully, rarely do.
I think it's just it's people who are literally just a blind eye to fucking what's going on in the world. They just watch these movies without knowing anything about anything. And they just pick whatever one out of a fucking hat because it's always bullshit. But anyway, that's my beef on the Academy and the Oscars. So,
take it to them.
So I really just take whatever the Oscars is with a grain of salt. So
yeah, I mean, I think they rarely do get it right. I know a lot of times they just kind of do certain things on certain years for certain looks.
Exactly.
Like to make themselves.
So that's where I'm going to go back. But Barbie might win just because like of the feminist movement and everything like going on like with, trying to get more equality for females. So.
And Margot just joined the writer's strike. So
well, then they're not going to.
Barbie joined the writer's strike.
Yeah, so she's not coming.
Well, then again, though, most of the industry at this point is on the strike, so somebody's got to win it.
That's true, though.
But the other movie, though, that I wanted to review is The Strays. We got to watch. Well, Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx played the stray dogs. I thought that movie was hilarious. I know because you work in vet field that you love, that I knew instantly you were going to love the movie because you said, what'd you say about like how the dogs?
They like portray their dog personalities like as they are like in real life. So like the Boston Terrier, which was with Jamie Foxx, right? Or no, who was who? I can't remember.
Which one? Are you talking about the little black dog?
The Boston.
Bad with breeds.
I'm pretty positive it was Jamie because Will Ferrell
it was the little brown dog.
Was the main character, the main dog. But anyway, they're just like Boston's really just high energy and like crazy and like ooh, they think they're big and bad, and that's exactly like how it was, and like they just like portray their personalities like in the movie, so it's just hysterical. Like it's really funny if you're like in vet med or know anything about animal like behavioral like things. And
when I watched the Will
their
Ferrell interview,
personalities.
he said that he was happy when he signed on for the film, that the past couple times he signed on early, it starts off R. And then at some point, the director's like, I want to make it PG-13 or PG. And then Will's like, fuck. Like,
no,
damn,
really
that hinders me.
It was like Sausage Party meets like a like a live action movie of some sort. Like, I don't know, like a animal movie. That's
a good one right
like,
there.
I can't think of like a movie like a Homeward Bound or something. Like Sausage Party meets that. It's like,
and I like how they did it too. Like the dogs couldn't understand the humans. Like, if you remember, like, they couldn't understand, like, some of the words and stuff. They're like, oh, he loves me. And, like, it would be him being like, oh, I fucking hate this dog. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. He's like, oh, my honor loves me so much.
That's, like, just dogs, though. Like, dogs just, they love you so unconditionally. So it's like, you literally could be like, you're a fucking piece of shit dog. And then
yeah, because remember when he's telling Jamie Foxx's character, and he's like, oh, yeah, we play fetch and fuck. He goes, fetch it. Yeah, that does sound like a pause.
It sounds just funny.
But he's like, yeah, we play fetch and fuck. He goes, well, what's that? He goes, I fetch the ball, I come back, and he yells fuck.
And he thinks it's a game. And it's just like, yeah.
But overall, though, I thought that movie was really funny. Also recommend checking that out. I don't know if it's hit a streaming service yet. We rented it on Vudu. But love that we're able to catch up on these summer movies. I know you like that movie a lot, too. That was super funny. We were rolling the whole time. Definitely excited to check that out again. So now that we're off of reviews, I know that we haven't seen this yet, but we do plan on seeing this. The Nun 2 came out last week, and boy, oh boy, are people loving this thing.
I can't wait to see
the reviews are in. Some people are saying this is one of the best scary movies in recent time.
Oh man,
it's getting this really
is right up my alley.
Getting really good reviews.
I love a good devil movie. Don't get me going.
And supposedly, I keep seeing that. Supposedly there's a scene towards the end that apparently just
I hear it
fucking freaks you out. Like whatever it is that they did, they nailed it.
See, I like watching movies like that at home with all the lights off. Like I can't get that scared in a movie theater. I can't get.
Oh, when you hear this guy is over here with a cold and he's blowing his nose like, every fucking minute.
Like somebody's fucking has tuberculosis 2 seats fucking.
I had that before. I almost had to yell at the homie and see if he had ALS. I'm like, are you good, brother? Like, you've been hacking lungs and blowing snot rockets for a straight half hour as I'm trying to watch this movie. Like, yo. ALS is, but that's okay. Yeah, I know. I just yell out diseases. I don't know.
Tuberculosis would be like that's a funny one.
That's the funnier one. ALS was Lou Gehrig's disease. I forget about that one.
It's just like you go paralyzed. That's okay.
Oh, so that one wouldn't be making any commotion.
Right.
He'd just be looking like a zombie.
Got like cerebral palsy. But no problem with that. Those are the best movie theater buddies. Because then they don't make any noise.
That's like my buddy, that's like a young Weasley. Goes in the movie, eats the popcorn during the trailers, then passes out as soon as the movie starts and wakes up at the end. He got to pay $20 for a nap. But
nap and overpriced popcorn.
That's why my buddy literally stopped going to movies. He's like, I can't fucking do it. I sit in that chair and I fall right asleep. Especially when they turn the lights off on him. Literally like 6 straight movies. I'll share a quick pod story. When we went to Rogue One, he wanted to see that so bad. He literally talked us all into it at the time. He's like, come on, let's go see that tonight. We're finally like, all right. And we go. And this after he's already done this like 4 times in a row. Gets the popcorn, gets the pop, wolfs the shit down. Movie starts. He's out cold. We're like, Jim, homie. Yeah, just 1 minute. Literally as the Death Star blows up at the end of the movie, Vader's already walked out. Vader's already came and gone. The Death Star is in the middle of exploding. He wakes up and goes, what'd I miss? my other buddy, Duke, he goes, to be honest, fucking everything. Like, literally everything. He's like, is that the Death Star? And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's blowing up. It's the end of the movie. Like, that was what they were building up for the whole time. And then he just stormed out of the movie, and we're all talking about how he liked it. And he's over here like, yep, never again. Nope, never again. Like, just pay $25. Never again. Like, just fell asleep through the whole movie. But people are loving The Nun too, so I know we're going to let the theater die down maybe a little bit before we pop outside and see it. But who knows? We'll probably end up catching it on streaming. That's a reoccurring theme. But the other thing I wanted to mention, though, before we leave off of TV and movies and pivot into some pro wrestling, last thing I wanted to mention was Oppenheimer now becomes the highest grossing biopic at the box office of all time. It broke $900 million. Now it's just trying to join the Billy Club, but it looks like it might taper off before it can get there.
That's it.
But shout out to Oppenheimer.
Those are some good bonuses.
And a rated R biopic did over 900, and it was based on, the building of the nuke.
Forrest watched it, so he liked it a lot.
Oh, Doc saw it?
Yeah.
That seems like a movie right up Doc's alley. What was he, 10 when it happened?
Probably. He's 70, so.
Oh, no, that would have been a little bit before his time. That would have been a little bit before Doc's time. I didn't want to do Doc too dirty there. But yeah, a lot of shit going on in the movie industry. You still got the Hollywood writer's strike going on. You still got a big writer's strike going on that they haven't resolved. But that's enough of TV and movies. Check out Barbie. Check out The Strays. Now we end off on pro wrestling. For those that don't know, on Tuesday, the merger went through under Endeavor. It is officially TKO, which is the merge of UFC and WWE. They did it. And I saw a lot of people got bonuses too from that. Like Triple H got a $5 million bonus. Nick Khan got a $14 million bonus. Vince, of course, got like a $56 million bonus. And he's already a billionaire. That's nothing to him, really. But, which is crazy to say.
Some change.
But thought that was absolutely amazing seeing that went through. However, though, that means couple different things now go with that. Budget cuts have begun, and everybody thought that it was going to be the budget cuts we're going to hit, which I know it's not the end of the budget cuts yet, so we're still holding our breath, hoping that it doesn't hit any of the talent. But that was everybody's first thought was, anytime you hear of a WWE budget cut, it's like, all right, which one of my favorite wrestlers is getting booted off now? Mm-hmm. And then it was released who got cut. A lot of the people in the staff in Connecticut, a lot of the people at the Titan Towers got laid off, and some of them just were pretty much just told, like, you're done. Like, we'll terminate you and give you a severance package and send you on your way, basically.
I'm hoping that those severance packages were at least loaded.
Oh, that's why when I heard a couple of them, there was the one woman that's like, I've literally spent like 44 years with this company. Like, I love coming to work. I love doing this. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I have to go home? Like,
they probably don't have to work again. I'm hoping.
Oh, no. And like you said, I'm sure they got like a big severance package. But to like some of them, though, it's like, I don't. When I saw that, I got emotional for a second. Because it's like, you're going to lay off somebody that has given 44 years of them to this. And they're telling you, like, and they're telling you, like, I showed up to work today. I'm ready to go. I love this. What do you mean I'm cleaning out my desk? Like, damn, like 44 years. That tells me she could have retired 14 years ago and been happy. But she said, I don't want to do it. I want to truck it out. I love coming to work. Then there was like other people there too. That's like, man, I've been with this company for 30 years. Like, and Vince had to walk in or whoever into the Titan Towers and just start telling people, hey, put the phone down, clean out your desk. What?
Yeah.
Like,
probably a shock to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, is it fair to say that when they thought budget cuts were coming, they're like, all right, guys, don't worry, it's never us. And then it's
they're probably like,
oh, shit. But it made sense to me, and I hate to say it. It does make sense because now Endeavor through 2KO wants to have one company that's managing them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Which then also, though, leads to something weird in this deal. Because I made sure to scour it and try to figure out if anything in there looked a little bit weird to me. And something did right away. And I'm curious to see what you think of this as well. Vince now actually has full say, no longer has full say in WWE, but he still has a little bit of a role. But the one thing that's weirder, though, is he now has a say in UFC decisions. Now, that confuses me.
That, like, just doesn't make sense to me.
And
like,
supposedly, it already showed last night. So, one of the fights that this was the second time this this group fought. These two guys fought, or two girls. I'm not sure who it was. But it went to the judges, and the judges ruled it as a draw. Meaning that you have to come back for the trilogy fight, which looks great on paper and easy to promote. This is the third and final time they're ever going to face, and the feud will end. And the rumor is that Vince was the one in the judge's ears that said to rule it a draw because he wanted it to go to a third fight. Now, my thing, though, is if you're Dana White, how mad are you at that? Like, that'd be like Dana White coming in on Monday Night Raw and going, hey, Seth, I want you to drop that belt tonight to Shinsuke tonight. And somebody would be like, but Dana, you run UFC. Why are you telling this to me?
Yeah.
That's why, like, if I'm Dana White and I hear Vince told my judges what, I'd be like, whoa.
There has to be something like that. Just doesn't make
not
sense
confirmed,
to
but
me.
it seems to be that's where the ruling came from.
I don't know. Something just seems off. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Why would Vince have any say in UFC? Like, that just to me doesn't make sense.
It was something in the deal with the merger.
I need to look at this damn commentary because I don't believe it.
There's a lot that goes into it too, which is weird. Like, essentially Triple H now has no say other than being the head of creative control. He doesn't have a board spot. So literally, if somebody wanted to fire Triple H right now, can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Something's fishy.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how this plays out, because how Vince, like you said, would be able to have a say in a UFC ruling when Dana White is right there. Just absolutely blows my mind.
Unless they're like working together. I don't know.
From what I've seen of Dana, I feel like Vince loved this merger way more than Dana did. Because Dana looked at UFC, as he should, as his baby. I mean, a fun fact, if you don't know it, was I believe the year was 2001. Yes, right after Vince bought WCW and ECW, that Shane, his son, who's always been a big combat sports, like UFC guy too, reportedly told Vince, like, hey, Dad, like, trust me, like, this company's only worth $2 million right now. You can buy UFC in its entirety for $2 million. Come on, like, do that and I'll run it. Like, just trust me, I got this. And Vince was like, UFC, I don't want it. It doesn't really look like it'll make me any money. I'm cool on it. And Dana White supposedly bet the farm and said, there's something here. I can turn this around. And then now turned it into a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's a billionaire. And it obviously, it got bought out. And I saw Dana got like another like $50 million bonus too, like Vince did through all this. So it's cool to see that it all paid off for him. But imagine a world where Vince would have bought UFC. Would it have went the same way?
I don't know. That's like, I can't even like fathom that because that's crazy.
It would have been nuts. Like, and then it makes me think too that this deal wouldn't even have ever happened, because if Vince owned both of them, holy shit. The amount of money.
Have to run the company.
Supposedly that's what Shane wanted to do.
Yeah, but Vince doesn't even like Shane.
I don't know. You might be right. At that King of the Ring in 2001, watching your son hit his head on the fucking concrete 3 times in a row trying to go through glass, and he didn't even bat an eye at it. He's like, this makes me money. He's like, I'm good. I just watched my son turn into mush brain too out there. But no, that would have been interesting though. And then obviously imagine what that would have done for the WWE, because then Shane never would have been an in-ring superstar. So you never would have had all those Shane McMahon jumps off the goddamn roof like he did at Backlash and fucking SummerSlam. But no, very interesting to see how this pans out, especially with the UFC and the WWE and who has involvement in what. So it'll be exciting to see how this one goes. Now, we're going to pivot into WWE and talk a little bit of a Raw Smackdown recap, because I think overall SmackDown and Raw had great shows this week, especially SmackDown. But first, let's dive in on Raw. Ended up being a really good Raw, but there was a major return at the end. Major return. Curious to think of what you think about this, but to provide background context, they brought a female back who's a big star onto Monday Night Raw, and I know there's some controversy surrounding it because some of the fans do think that she's dangerous, and she does have a history of getting some people hurt. But with that being said, Nia Jax is back on Monday Night Raw, and she stared down mommy, Rhea Ripley. What do you think of Nia being back? I know you kind of always like Nia.
I do. I like Nia. I'm excited. I know that she, can be unsafe in the ring, but,
Yeah, I got Kairi Sane concussed. Got Alexa hurt wrist. She has her history, but I think that's just because of, if you put her in the ring with Liv Morgan and tell her to do a power slam on her or something, it's like...
this girl's like fucking twice these other girls' sizes. Like,
yeah.
why are you...
That's why I think it's good that she's with Rhea, because Rhea can hang with her.
Well, yeah, because they're like, you're putting her against these fucking twigs. It's like, why? What do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna fucking snap. Like,
why do you think they had Chyna fighting the guys? Because a Chyna clothesline would have broke Molly Holly's neck off her shoulders. But no, I love seeing Nia back. I think that was a major return. But now there was an even bigger return on Friday Night SmackDown. An even bigger return. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? The Brahma Bull kicked off Friday Night SmackDown with coming back out there with Pat McAfee. And that crowd lit the fuck up. Oh my God, they went through the roof. I saw The Rock posted yesterday that was one of the biggest pops that he's ever received in any of his career. Like, he couldn't believe it. And it showed that behind the scenes clip where he was talking to Cena before he walked out of Gorilla and actually took the ramp. And they're talking just briefly about, like, oh, it feels good to be home, don't it? And The Rock asked him, he goes, you think they're still going to like me? And John Cena goes, they ended up liking me, so I think they should still like you. And as soon as the music hit, you could hear the crowd just stand up and go crazy. And John smiling as The Rock getting a tad emotional because it's been a while for him. And John Cena just gives him a pat on the back and goes, go get him, buddy. I thought that was cool. Like, The Rock's actually kind of had a rough year as far as, like, his movies got, like, terrible reviews for the first time in his career. Like, it's almost, like, weird that, like, he's been dealing with that because, like, for a while he was batting 1,000. And then now it's like Black Adam comes out. It has 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's like, fuck. Like, damn, usually if The Rock's in it, it's just gold immediately. But great seeing him back on SmackDown. Loved how the crowd reacted. Loved his interaction with Austin Theory. Loved how that played out. His little promo that he did on screen with Cena, too, I thought was great. But what do you think of The Rock being back? To me, I jumped up like a little kid. You watched that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, I had to double take the music. I was like, oh shit, that's The Rock. I was like, well, I was not expecting that, but.
Yeah, he's one of those legends, too, that I think I pointed it out to you when we're watching it. One of the few in history that can take the crowd and just put it in the palm of his hand and tell it to do whatever he wants. I mean, he is so good that he literally had the crowd muted, basically, and goes, I want this side of the arena to chant, you're in. And he goes, or you are. And he goes, I want this side of the crowd to chant an asshole. He goes, everybody got it? He goes, all right. 3, 2, 1. And the crowd just takes off. And Austin Theory, when I went and watched it back, because now I've seen it 3 times, I'm guilty. Austin Theory's giving him that look. Right when he does the 3, 2, 1, and the crowd does. Theory breaks character for about 2 seconds and gives The Rock a look like, oh, I gotta try to learn from this. Holy shit. Like, damn, how do you guys do? Like, he had that fan face of like, how did you just do that? Like, oh my God. Like, look at Dominic Mysterio. He can't get the fucking crowd to shut up to save his life. He said if Rock is going to be back for a while, I might have to start watching wrestling again. Yes, he is going to be back for a while. It looks like he's going to be back all the way up until April for WrestleMania, where he's going to face Roman Reigns, which also means that Cody's not going to finish the story until 2060. But, oh, Cody heard that music hit and went, no, no, no. No, that can't be. And Triple just looks over at him and goes, you'll get him at WrestleMania 41, buddy. You're no longer getting him at 40. We got something bigger planned for that. But love seeing The Rock back. I know that's going to definitely pop ratings and get more eyes back on the product. Especially, I know they need it while football's back on TV. Because when football's on, Friday Night SmackDown becomes their flagship show. Because Monday Night Raw's ratings, there's nothing you could do. I mean, you could literally bring Christ himself down that ramp. And people be like, yeah, but it's 14-14. Like, I don't know. I'll record it and check it out in a couple days and skip through it. But no, I love seeing The Rock back. Major moment for the WWE. They got The Rock and Cena on the same show. I had to check my calendar and make sure it wasn't 2013 again. But love seeing it. However, though, we're talking about how WWE is flying high. It's doing amazing. It's doing amazing ticket sales. Survivor Series is already sold out. Fastlane's already sold out. Royal Rumble's going to be sold out any minute. They're just fucking on fire right now. But that being said, AEW is going through some tough times since All In, really, since their London show. It's just been a kind of a steady drop, unfortunately. But I don't want to get accused of hating AEW again. I know that always goes over with me. But what do you think is the culprit of tough times? And to provide a little bit of context to what I mean by tough times is they're trying to perform at these arenas like the Rocket, and they're doing like Cincinnati. They went and did a bigger one. And then I think they're doing Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York or something like that for their AEW Grand Slam Dynamite show. So my question for you is, what do you think is the culprit of these AEW tough times with the low ticket sales? And I guess the merch really isn't selling. They're having to, move people around and block out certain sections at the shows. AEW Collision just had a botch last night, big time. For those that don't know, AEW Collision, somebody got fired for sure. Because for those that don't know, in wrestling, when you see like a backstage interview, 9 out of 10 times, unless it's on pay-per-view, that thing was already recorded well earlier on in the day. So apparently the Keith Lee promo took 22 takes and it worked on the 22nd take. But there was a video going around on AEW Collision when they aired it live. Somebody didn't edit out a certain part of that. They didn't edit it out at all, actually. So you see the guy come in with the thing and go, take 20.
It's just his hands.
Yes, okay, just his hands. And he goes, and take 22. And then it zooms in and they have that couple of minutes of awkwardness. And then the interviewer starts talking. And it just looked like, oh, God, I can't believe that made it to TV and nobody caught it. I just know Tony, when he was watching in Gorilla, had to throw down the fucking headset and be like, that really just happened? Like, especially with all this, now people are making fun of that. But what do you think's the culprit of the tough times?
I don't know. I think they're just they're trying to do too big of arenas. I mean, they need to be doing like smaller venues instead of these big stadiums. They need to be doing like college stadiums or something, like something smaller.
College stadium. Oh, like a okay. Never mind.
Like a basketball?
Like a basketball. Gotcha. I went to NCAA football for a second. Sorry about that.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know why. I mean, that would be like my only guess. I don't know why the merch isn't selling. I think it looks, I mean, there's not a ton of different merch when they bring it like out, but like on tour, but I mean,
it seems like, they're the more so the website that they're having a hard time with.
Oh,
like getting merch traction off the website, which I know a lot of their wrestlers though also have, distribution through ProWrestlingTees.com. So some of them don't even necessarily go through AEW's like sponsored merch.
Well, but there you go.
But the other thing though, I think you nailed it right on the head. I think you hit a bullseye. I think anybody can really see that the common denominator here is AEW had no problem selling out places like the Wolfstein Center. They had no problems trying to sell out any of those type of places. Then they booked their All In show. You get 81,000 people in London, which it turned out that it ended up being 72,000. And Will Ospreay had to get that tattoo probably laser removed on his arm, which that's pretty interesting. That's what I'm saying. Tony Khan can't catch a break right now. And I'm actually been enjoying the AEW product overall. I think they're putting out a lot of good shit. That's why I think right now it's that's clouding it, making them look not successful, because I'm sure they are losing money on these bigger venues. But I think it's crystal clear what happened here. See what you think on this. I think it got to Tony's head. The fact that he was able to put that many people in London and then have a great sellout at the following week at that pay-per-view. I think that's when he was like, all right, if I can sell out those places, let me start booking the AEW Collision and the Dynamite in bigger venues, not realizing that was more of like okay, yeah, you did that, but now you got to build the base.
He like bit off too much. Like, he put asses in seats in those, in those two big shows, but you can't have a pay-per-view fucking show every week. So it's like, that's where he's getting stuck. It's like, yeah, you're booking these big venues, but you're not booking the big matches for the big venues. Like, you're not booking pay-per-view matches for these shows to put the asses in seats because, whatever would have you. People don't want to see it. I don't know.
I'm glad you said that. So that's why I think AEW's had rough ratings recently on the past couple of shows because, like you said, I actually think we got one of the best AEW cards of the last month as far as their TV shows go. I think we got spoiled with that one. But overall, they do. I know that they have had kind of problems like building and sustaining feuds. I feel like a lot of their feuds seem like they get stale a little bit quick. But I can tell Tony, though, based on how the ratings have been low on the recent shows, it looks like that's because he's trying to build for the Arthur Ashe Stadium this Wednesday for Grand Slam for AEW. Because, okay, at Rocket Mortgage and places like the Cincinnati show and stuff, if you need to block out sections and work the camera, you can do that at a Rocket and still make it look good, even though you got a gap of seats open. If he goes to Arthur Ashe Stadium, that he knows that gets bad. If he can't fill out the seats in that's a stadium. That starts looking empty. That's going to look bad. There's really no way to salvage that. Like, there's no lighting trick, production trick that you can do if that place is dead. Like, it's just, that's the fact of the matter. So I think Tony realized that. And what he's been doing the past couple weeks is just stacking that show. I mean, he's got a 2-hour Rampage, so people are going to see a 2-hour edition of Rampage, and looks like potentially an all-in-all a 3-hour edition of Dynamite. And they got MJF defending the title. They got Christian defending the title. They got a lot of different people out there. Looks like a great stat card. So it looks like that's what he's going to try to do to hopefully start getting the wheels getting turned around on this kind of a shit show that's going on right now. And I think he's trying to pick back up speed. And I do think that Tony can do it. Overall, I think he is doing a good job at running AEW. I think they're just going through a rough patch right now and getting a little bit too ahead of themselves and have to check themselves at the door, so to speak. But with that being said, we're going to leave off on one last thing of this episode of Pull Up a Chair, episode 55. And it's me proposing a question that I just kind of thought of. And I know that Chris Jericho kind of opened the gate for me because he had a little theory on this as well as he looked back at CM Punk's run, which I know is a name we always bring up on this show. But there's still some aftermath coming out of the CM Punk shit that happened at AEW All In and him getting released. And if he's going to come to WWE for Survivor Series in Chicago, where's Punk going to end up? We don't know. But the fact of the matter is that AEW is now out a superstar and pretty much got Jungle Perry in trouble. It had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in trouble for a while. And now my question would be, humor me, was CM Punk potentially sent from WWE to destroy it from the inside? Which is a theory that Chris Jericho supposedly is backing on Twitter.
To destroy it from the inside. That's some crazy shit.
That, because, let me humor it. Let me humor it in Devil's Advocate. Let me humor it. I'll humor it. Ever since CM Punk came to AEW.
Why does it have to be sent from WWE?
Yeah.
CM Punk is literally a walking cancer. Like, he literally brings the cancer wherever he goes. Why can't it just be CM Punk's a shitty person? Why are we continuing to make excuses for CM Punk just being a shitty fucking human? That's where we have to start evaluating.
And right now, a lot of the CM Punk fans that are entertaining that theory are saying, see, we knew he wasn't a jackass. He was doing that on purpose. They're taking that
Stop
angle.
making excuses for the fucking clock. Like, ugh.
I love that term, the fucking clock.
Like, I can't
the clock
stand CM Punk. I mean, I Can't stand him.
So
for somebody who doesn't even know I exist, he's really eating away at my fucking mind because I can't stand him.
he's your Russell. CM Punk is to you what Russell Wilson is to me.
To an extent, I can't stand
You hope he get a
him.
paper cut on his tongue from a razor and a paper
No,
cut?
he needs to just stop being in the wrestling industry.
Do you hope every Pepsi soda he always drinks is always shaken up?
I hope he just stops. That's what I hope he does.
Well...
No, I don't think he was sent from WWE to sabotage AEW from the inside out. I mean,
That is diabolical if you think about it. Whoever thought of that first.
The Pink Panther? I'm like, I don't... What the fuck is this?
He said the Pink Panther. CM Punk was the Pink Panther. CM Panther. But that's hilarious. Oh, so you're thinking Chris Jericho's just delusional right now to even entertain that?
Is what I'm saying.
You mean the little bit of the bubbly? That's what he's got on right now.
Whatever it is.
But do I honestly think that CM Punk was sent from WWE to destroy it from the inside? No, that's preposterous. No, I don't think so at all. I think CM Punk got a little bit above his britches and thought he had a little bit more pull and say and thought everybody would just jump no matter how many times.
He thought his shit don't stink, but it does, just like everybody is.
Turns out his roses really smell like poo, as Andre 3K would say. I didn't want to try to do the bar, but I didn't want to do the roses bar there. But Pull Up a Chair episode 55 in the books. Beautiful Sunday evening. Now we're going to head out, get some grub, hit up a gas station, and enjoy our Sunday night, maybe rent a movie and be able to review something for you guys next week. Thank you to my beautiful wife, my queen, for joining on Pull Up a Chair and pulling up a chair, even though we are on a couch. But thank you for joining me and getting your shit off as well. I know we both had our hater hats on at different points of the pod, but overall, I think we kept it all love and kept it fun. Gave you my highly recommendations and what we think you should check out. Gave our reviews on Barbies and Strays. Hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful week. Love to see how everything pans out in the simulation. Get out your 2023 bingo cards. Who knows what we're going to see this week? Shoot, while we're recording this, something crazy might have happened. Who knows? But on that note, we love y'all. Keep the love high and the hate low. If Snooker was here, he'd stay blessed and less stressed. I tell you to wake up with a smile on. And what do you say, sweet love? Peace out. You hear it just like that. Big old peace signs. Love you. If you're watching this now, I appreciate the love. Good brother Doom, always appreciate the feedback as well on YouTube. And if you're watching this after, leave your comments, subscribe. Follow me on socials, at Tuklenku, IG, Instagram, Sleepless Radio on Reddit, where it's a wild, wild west, and we have fun and talk about nonsense. And on that note, see you next week in the simulation. Peace. Keep the love high and the hate low. Great pot again.